Hello, everyone, and welcome to part one of three of my flag review of the 193 UN recognized nations. Yeah, there's no way I'm going through all of these in one sitting, so we're gonna tackle about 60 something of these. And I'm not gonna sit here and talk about how I'm judging these flags for 5 minutes. We'll just figure that out as we go along. So, let's see. First up is Afghanistan. Now, this is an interesting flag. It's got text on it, which isn't great for flags. It isn't a killer. Some calligraphy does just look good, but generally speaking, if you have calligraphy on your flag and another flag uses calligraphy, they're going to start looking confusing if you have them at all similar designs. On top of that, we've got this very complicated seal with lots of minute details. One advantage is that it's front and center and it's ballooned to a very large size so you can make out all the detail, and it is admittedly well done, but it is overly intricate. There's too many small details, like why is there a staircase here? What's this doing here? Why are there these individual stripes on the pillars and all these tiny little grains of wheat? This The background is fine. There's nothing to really comment on with the background, so I give this a solid C. Not great, not bad either. Next, we have Armenia. Very simple two-color flag. Once again, we have a crest front and center, all reds and blacks. This is the flag of the villains in any fictional setting. I mean, really? Black and red? There's nobody who looks at this color set and thinks, "Ah, yes, we're the good guys." But enough about that. So this actual two-headed eagle or phoenix or whatever it's meant to be, I haven't looked into any of these flags or their meanings. I'm just judging them purely on aesthetic quality. It stands out very sharply from the rest of the flag. It's not overly detailed. Like, yes, it has all these little feathers on it, but the feathers themselves are so simplified that anybody could draw this, really, and that's a big plus for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this is an A tier flag. Anybody who it's from another time, and anybody who looks at this recognizes it as the flag of Albania. That's the whole point of flags, is recognizing them. Next, we have the flag of Algeria. We have a background of green and white splitting the flag in twain. And in the center, we have a red crescent and red star. Very typical of Middle Eastern culture. And there's not a whole lot about this that I can comment on. It's a very simple design. There's nothing to really say about it. There's nothing bad about it, that's for certain. But there's nothing really inspired about it either. So for that, I put it in B tier. Solid B tier. Good work, but nothing impressive. Next we have Andorra. So this is one of those flags that is, again, from another time period. We have a very typical three-color background of blue, yellow, red. I feel like there are other countries that have used that, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. The crest, we've got some Latin, Virtus Unita Fortior, Virtue Unites Fortior. I don't know Latin. Again, text on a flag. If you're gonna put Latin text on it, you might as well go full Latin, but it's just not a good idea. Especially on this, it's so small. If you were looking at this from a distance, it doesn't even matter. That's all of this detail looked at from a distance. You're not gonna be able to. It's just gonna be a blur. Yeah, you go next to Afghanistan in C tier. Angola or Angola or Angola. Let's go with Angola. I'm not sure how to pronounce this one. African country. Very interesting history. I know a little bit about this flag, just from prior research. I like that the cut of the gear lines up with the almost lines up with the star. I'd like it a lot more if the just happened to line up like that, just for I don't know mathematical reasons. Background of red and black again, but not screaming evil like Andorra's flag does. You've got a gear. That's a very modern concept. You don't see a lot of flags with modern symbols on them. I kind of like it. They've got a what is this? What is this called? A machete and a star. So definitely some communist symbolism here, but updated. And unlike some other flags, it feels like it's been updated in a good way. Instead of the hammer and sickle, you have the machine and the machete. I actually like this one. I like this one quite a bit. It's A tier. It's not S tier, but it's A tier. Next we have Antigua and Barbuda. Hmm. We've got this red field with, I don't know the technical term, a large middle central triangle that we then have. This is clearly supposed to be white sand and a blue ocean, and then a simplified sun rising out of the ocean on a black background. They're trying to paint a picture with their flag, and that's always a risky thing to do, but they've done it pretty simply. The only thing I don't like is I don't like this red field. I feel like they should have gone with a different color just for aesthetic reasons because it distracts from this central image that they're trying to show off. They should have used something tamer here. I'm not sure what color, maybe a green or why not a brown? Nobody uses brown on flags. So I kind of like it, but there's elements that I don't. So we'll put you in B tier or C tier. Hmm. I'm gonna put you in C tier for now. Yeah, perfectly average. Next we have Argentina. We have our basic background here, three stripes, but only two colors, light blue with a white central stripe, and a sun with a rather what is that expression? Uh, it's like he's judging me for it's like he's staring in my window during my private hours and he's judging me for what I do. Ugh, I don't like that appearance at all. But notwithstanding, look at all the detail on those rays. So let's see, we've got alternating straight rays and waving rays, and you can see that the waving ones they wave in the same pattern. And overall, we've got, let's see, four-way symmetry. One, two, three. Uh, how much is that? 32. We've got 32 bands here. Uh, it's difficult to say with a detailed crest like this, putting it on your flag. It's small for a crest of this much detail. From a distance, you're not going to really make out the face. You're not going to really see all the fine little detail work that's gone into this. But from a distance, it's still also very recognizable. I think that they might have been better off making it a bit bigger, but then they would have gone outside of their bounds. But then again, you've got all of this blue space that's just not really being used. So I think, yeah, there we go. That's a better view in this small picture. It kind of just all blends together and you can just make out the face. But at the same time, I feel like it works. It just works. I'm gonna put that in B tier. Because unlike these two flags, you don't lose meaning because of the detail that's lost. And the detail that's lost doesn't feel like it's pointless. Like, again, this has a staircase on it. What was the point of that? Ugh. Next, we have Armenia. Armenia, okay. Different proportions than normal flags. It seems it's a fair bit wider. That or it just looks different. because of the file size. That's also possible. Basic red, blue, and is that a yellow or an orange? Maybe it's a dull yellow, a kind of a golden yellow, which is unique. But I don't know. These basic three-striped flags are always they're so dull to me. There's just nothing to really say about them. It's tried, it's true, it works. And as long as you don't mimic another country too closely, it's not going to be confusing. So, solid C tier. You could have done more. Like, whereas these other flags, I like something and dislike something, this one it's just completely blasé. Next, we have the flag of Australia, which, like many of the United Kingdom's former colonial possessions, has the Union Jack in the corner, suggesting inferiority, I believe, is what this usually suggests. Whenever you have a symbol that's stuck off in the corner, it kind of suggests that everything else is subservient to this more complex symbol. Then this is what the rest of the flag is supposed to represent for Australia, whereas this is just saying, oh, we were once subservient to, or are still subservient to, the British Empire. And as for Australia, you've got, what are these, 7-point stars? You've got, wait, you've got one, two, three, four, five. You got 5 7-point stars and 1 5-point star. That's why. I'm guessing this is based off of a real constellation, but I appreciate the 7-point star. I don't. You should have just made a smaller 7-point star, I feel. I don't care for that. D tier. I don't. I don't like it. Oh God, Austria. Why? This is another problem with flags. When I look at your flag, I should be able to instantly recognize what country your flag represents. I shouldn't have to sit here for 3 minutes thinking, is that Austria? Is that Poland? Is that what's that one country? Singapore? I so you failed to be unique enough to be recognizable. You're going in E tier because you're not technically badly designed. You've just been copied a bunch. Azerbaijan. Once again, we've got the crescent symbol, and this time we have a what is that? 8-pointed star. Looks like I think one, two. Yes, 8-pointed star. And once again, we have a three-striped field, but unique colors: a sky blue, a standard red, and a grassy green. And you can kind of see they're kind of doing the thing that other flags do, where they paint a picture like the bottom color represents the green, grassy fields and the sky that's oh so clear. And if you know anything about Azerbaijan, you know a little bit about like the history of the Mongols and Tengri faith and all that, and how important the sky is in their culture. Then you have the nod to Islam and all that. So yeah, I like this one. I think you go in A tier. Bermuda, sorry, not Bermuda, the Bahamas. Nothing about this flag pops, is my first observation. We've got a dull blue-green, a golden yellow, and black. There is nothing about this flag that really draws the eye to it. And for the Bahamas, I feel like you should be a little more exciting to look at. Otherwise, it's just a standard design of 3 stripes and I don't know the technical term, the side triangle. I should probably have Googled this before I started. But side triangle of black, and so this just looks like an empty void. There's nothing to look at here. My eye is naturally drawn to the yellow stripe here, but it's so dull, it's not really catching my attention either. Yeah, the design is fine. They just should have gone with some colors that pop a bit more. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in D tier because at very least it is unique in its colors. Next we have Bahrain. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that. Not too many flags who use the zigzag, the interlocking triangles as a border. White and red, pretty standard shades. Off center for its divide. no symbols to really speak of, so all we have to talk about is to just naturally focus on the diagonal, what are these, isosceles triangles they look like? So, yeah, very jagged, surprisingly aggressive. This looks like it would look much better if it was turned on its side and allowed to hang vertically. I feel like this looks better as a tapestry than as a flag. So, I think I put this one in C tier. Just, there's not much going on here. And it's a bit boring, but it's just unique enough to be interesting. Actually, you know what? Yeah, for that, I'll put it in B tier. Bangladesh. Not too many flags that use a dark green, and we've got that red central dot that is centered, right? It's not. Part of my brain is saying it's off center slightly, and it may very well be, but I can't quite tell. And there's just nothing else here. Very simple, but also very recognizable. But nothing. Unlike Bahrain, where it's simple and recognizable and does something most flags don't do, a big circle isn't rare, so you go in C tier. Barbados. Three vertical stripes this time, two blue and a gold. But they've used a dark black to make it pop at least a little bit. Clearly, it's supposed to be a trident, used as some sort of crest, and it's just complicated enough to be recognizable and interesting to look at without being so complicated that it would be difficult to recreate. That's a very important thing with flags. You want to be able to recreate them quickly. So for this, I'll put you in B tier. You're a solid flag. I don't I feel like they could have done a bit better with the colors. Maybe made this yellow pop a little more. Belarus. We've got a dominating red on the top, green on the bottom, and this, what is this, a quilt pattern on the side? This is, it's so pixelated as well. I know it's supposed to be like a traditional quilting pattern, at least that's what it appears to me. But there's so much detail and there doesn't seem to be any meaning to it, and that makes me dislike it. Yeah, I think for that I'm gonna put you in E tier. Because the Austrian flag's crime is that it's too simple to be unique and recognizable. Belarus's crime is that it's recognizable, but the amount of complexity put into it just doesn't have any meaning. Belgium. Three stripes, black, yellow, red, and there's nothing else to really say about it. Completely standard flag, nothing really interesting about it, goes in C tier. Belize. Oh, Belize. Oh dear. Okay, background. Red trim, large dominant blue field, making space for their crest, which is, if you're going to have a very detailed crest, you want to make lots of space for it. Got a vine growing around the edge. A motto, sub umbra florio. I couldn't tell you what that means. Oh, got some detail on the ribbon that this file is too low quality to even make out completely. You got two men holding an axe and what is that, an oar? A tree in the background. Men are not very well drawn. You've got more tools here and a ship. There's just too much going on here. And worse, it doesn't look good. Look at those faces. They don't look good. That's an F. That's an ugly flag. Benin. It's not a three-stripe flag, but it is a basic three-color flag. They've just changed how it looks. They've just made it two portions and a third over on the side. It's different. It's not interesting. C tier. Bhutan. Not too many flags that use the diagonal border. Not too many. And not too many flags using orange either. Bold choice to use orange and yellow alongside each other. Bold choice. And I think it works. The orange is dull enough that it pops against the yellow, but neither of them are so bright that they distract from the dragon here. Now, this dragon is no more detailed than the crest of Afghanistan, with all of its individual kernels of grain corresponding to our little scales here. So, what do I. But is it too detailed? It takes up such a large portion, and I know that for Bhutan, it's very culturally significant, but I don't know what I think of it. Honestly, it's a dragon. It's cool. I like it for that. But I can't be judging this as a design. I have to judge this as a flag, and as a flag, it's just too complicated. I'm gonna put it in B tier because I like everything else. I think they just need to simplify the dragon. So, call me biased. Bolivia. Okay, well, basic three-color background, three stripes, red, yellow, green. And then we have a very complicated crest. At the very least, this crest actually looks good. But there's way too much detail. Like, you've got reflection on the golden. I can't even tell what these are supposed to be. Cannons? There's rifles. We've got a hat stuck on this one. It looks like a French Revolution hat. We've got a vulture. Part of we've got two different sprigs of plants. We've got ribbons. We've got smaller versions of your old flag hanging off of spears. No, I'm sorry. No, no, no. You've done too much, and it looks like we have a different version on. Looks like they've updated this recently, maybe. So this goes in E tier because at least it's not ugly. It's just too complicated. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't like it. This feels like, when you drag an image in Photoshop and you left a wraparound turned on. We got the blue field, we got a right triangle of yellow, and we've got a line of diagonal 5-point stars that cut off on the edges and wrap around. And oh no. No. If you had just taken these little portions here that are cut off, if you just removed those, maybe cut off the entire blue piece over here, it would be much better. It would be so much better. I'm going to put you in D tier. Botswana. Okay, doing something a little different here. We've got a nice sky blue. We've got a black central stripe separated from the others by some white so that it pops a little bit more. Not a whole lot of detail beyond that, but yeah, yeah, I think we can. Is it B tier worthy? Is it B tier worthy? It's borderline. It's borderline, but I can't justify putting it next to these more basic three-color flags, so B tier it goes. Brazil. Please come to Brazil. Ordem e progresso. Order in progress. You shouldn't put text on flags, and if you do, you should make it look good. This doesn't look good. Like, why is the E a different kerning? Why are these letters not quite lined up with the curve? It's not great. The stars are constellations are always a tricky. I think I recognize that constellation Australia was using. But constellations are always tricky to put into your flag. It's a risk because constellations are complicated. And if you don't know the constellation, it just looks like a mess. I like the rest of it. I like the diamond of gold and the central circle of blue and the field of green. If they had just made some stars inside of this, it would be a much better flag. But as it is, I think I have to put it in D tier. Brunei. Okay, I haven't seen this one before, I don't think. Okay, background. Golden background. The diagonal stripe does not quite reach the corners, and I feel like the white stripe is larger than the black stripe. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but it looks like it. So already that's an interesting design. And then we have a crest. Arabic calligraphy just looks good, but that might just be biased because it's exotic to me. So that's always a risky thing. The rest of the crest is not overly complicated. Like, it's very detailed, but it's well done. And it pops against the rest of the background. It's a little too detailed, and the text I think I have to give it a minus for, but they've done the text well. So I think I'll put it, call me biased, I'll put it in B tier. I can forgive the text for the rest of it. The crest is just barely avoiding being too complicated for my tastes. And it's a very recognizable flag otherwise, so it's doing a good job of being a flag. Bulgaria. You did the three-stripe thing and you changed the colors, you go in C tier. Burkina Faso. You did a yellow star on a red background and you threw some green on there. You also go in C tier. Burundi. Okay, now we've got something interesting. We've got these diagonal lines of white, a central white circle, red fields on the north and south, with green fields on the east and west. But the green's a bit. All the colors pop just a little too much, which means that this red, which is relatively bright, is actually the dullest color on the field. It's a very bright flag. At any rate, we then have these 6-point stars, three of them in a triangular arrangement, with a outline, a silhouette of green. It's just a little too bright, honestly, is my only complaint. Otherwise, it's very unique, it's very recognizable. It's just, it hurts my eyes to look at. So, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in. In real life, I think it would hurt my eyes less. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in A tier, because it is an extremely unique looking flag. And it looks good. It's just hurting my eyes on this big monitor. Cambodia. Basic background, nothing wrong with the background. And we have another crest. I know this is Cambodia. This is supposed to be related to the Khmer people, I believe. That the big temple they have that dates back to ancient times. Now the question is, like, I understand the cultural meaning of this temple, and I can tell that it's extremely simplified compared to what the actual temple looks like. And they've blown it up so that you can see all the detail, but there's still just too much detail. There's so many tiny portions. It's uh yeah, I have to put this in C tier as well. It's just too much detail for a flag. I'm sorry. Aesthetically it looks nice, but as a flag it just fails on the detail. You don't want detail on a flag. It's sin. Cameroon. Okay. I don't feel like I need to justify why this goes in C tier. I think I've talked my reasons to death on that. Canada. Now, At first glance, you might think, oh, obvious C tier, but two colors, two colors used to great effect, with a very unique maple leaf symbol. And that very unique symbol is extremely simplified. So, like, there is no mistaking this for any other flag. There's no other flag that looks quite like this. They've taken their national symbol, they've blown it up as big as possible. I'm going to put this in A tier. In fact, I might put it in S tier. There's there's no improving on this flag. There's no way to improve it, and there's no way I'd ask to improve it. So S tier. Cape Verde. Okay. It's not bad. It's certainly not bad. It's a blue background. You've got a small stripe of white, red, and white. Off center, you got 5-point stars in a ring of 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. 10 stars in a ring. I don't know what the significance of that is. I don't know why it's off center. It's it's an odd flag. I'm not sure that oddness helps it. It's unique though. I'll put it in B tier. Yeah, that feels like a B tier flag. Flag of the Central African Republic. Okay, it's unique. I'm not sure that's a good thing. So we've got blue, white, green, gold. I believe Central African Republic. I'm assuming this is supposed to represent the different biomes in the Central African Republic. I remember reading long ago about the meaning of this flag, about how the red is the blood that unites all of these different regions, and then they just slapped a star in there. They've somehow managed to make a flag that looks like it has too much going on, and the most complicated shape is a 5-point star. I mean, it's unique. I'll put it in D tier though. Chad, would I recognize your flag if you put it next to, let's say, whose flag was this? I don't remember. So let's put it there. It looks like that one turned on its side, or it looks like any other three-color flag with three stripes. So, moving on. Flag of Chile. Really? Really? White, red, blue field, single star. Did you take your design tips from Texas? D tier. In fact, honestly, it insults me so much I'm actually going to move it to D tier. For no other reason than I feel personally offended. China. Okay. Well, I mean, everybody knows this flag. It's a red field, a giant golden star with four smaller stars in a semicircle. So, it's very recognizable. It's a classic design, not a particularly creative design, but it's creative, and I can't justify putting it in C tier alongside all these others. So I'll put it in B tier. I'll give it some points because it is older than most of the communist copycats that came after. It is a copycat to a degree itself, but the Soviet Union isn't in this list, so I'll give it that much. Colombia. You took the three-color flag idea and you stretched out one of them. Yeah, I'm not gonna give you that. You go in C tier. Comoros. Well, you're interesting. Yellow stripe, white stripe, red stripe. Interesting shade of blue. And then we have another shade of green. All of these colors kind of pop, and again, it's kind of hurting my eyes. Got a nice twist on the crescent moon and star symbols here with four stars instead of the usual one, which works. Oh, that actually works quite well with the four colors as well. I like this one. It's unique, it's recognizable, it uses multiple colors. It hurts my eyes though, so I'm putting it in B tier, but still. No. The only reason I'm not putting it in A tier, is because this one is very unique. Whereas this one's unique, but it's not very unique. They're doing a lot of the same things that other flags have done. Whereas this one, I don't think I've seen the circle overlaid with the two diagonal stripes before, which is pretty unique. Democratic Republic of the Congo. A relatively light blue for a field with a large star in the corner, and a sash, I guess you could say, of red trimmed with gold. The three-color flag, and it uses those three colors pretty creatively, so actually, I think I'll put this in B tier. Yeah, I like it. I'll put it in B tier. Flag of the Republic of the Congo. I feel like you kind of tried to do. I appreciate the diagonals. I don't appreciate much else. I don't know what I think of this one. The colors kind of work, but also kind of don't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I wish there was a. It's somewhere between a B and a C, and I think it's leaning towards a C. Honestly, it's just there's just not enough here. You haven't done enough. You took somebody else's homework and you changed it a tiny bit. Sorry. Costa Rica. Basic flag is fine. Why did you have to slap this ugly crest on it with all this text? Like the file size here is too small to even read the text. How do you think this is going to look from a distance? No, no. You go in D tier. Actually, no. You go in E tier with the other ugly crests that are too small to read. Because at least these ones are legible. Croatia. Basic design is fine. You've put a very large crest on it. Checkerboard pattern is nice and simple, but then you had to put this on. And it's got so much tiny detail. I get that this is supposed to be, medieval symbols associated with your country, but it's a flag, not your heraldry. Save this for the state for the national emblem or something. But I'll forgive you for the checkerboard and put you in D tier. The checkerboard gets you some points. Cuba. For a country that hates the US, they sure copied us on our flag. Or at least they were inspired by us. So five stripes, blue and white alternating, red triangle coming in from the side with a white star, which clearly is a slight play on communism, but to be fair, it's not a bad flag. Not a bad flag, but there's nothing I particularly like about it. So I think I'll put you in C tier. Cyprus. White field, which is always a risk with a flag. You've done something good with this. What is this supposed to be? Oh, I know what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a specific kind of plant that represents a wreath, I think. I can't quite remember what it's supposed to be called, though. You've done a good thing, though. You've simplified it. It's not too complicated. It has mirror symmetry. It's a nice color. The orange is interesting. Making your symbol just the shape of your island is a bold choice. You're certainly not going to be confused with anybody else. I feel like maybe you should have simplified the shape of your geography a little bit, but hmm, I'll give it a B. I'm not sure how I feel about using geography for your logo, but there aren't too many nations doing it, I'll give you that much. Czech Republic. Oh my god. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed, honestly. I'm putting you in D tier. You are a perfectly boring flag with nothing sufficiently unique about you. D tier. Denmark. Now we get to the Scandinavian cross flags. I don't know why they all use this cross design. We've got a red background and a white cross. And I don't know. It's instantly recognizable as Denmark. And in a way, the fact that all those Scandinavian countries use this cross design does help tie them together culturally. And so it kind of is its own symbol. It's a very, on one hand, it's a very simple and recognizable flag. On the other hand, it doesn't really say much about Denmark, does it? I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's better than these other flags that are just too generic, but not by much. Djibouti. Okay, you copied the Czech Republic, but you changed up the colors and you added a star, which I will admit, I like the colors. You got a sky and a grassy color here, white triangle, red star. Not entirely sure what that's supposed to represent, but might be communist, might not be. It's recognizable. It's very recognizable. B tier. Why not? B tier. Don't love it, don't dislike it. Dominica. I think I remember reading that this is the only national flag that uses purple. The real shame they didn't use it better. The background is great. I love this background. You got a green field, cross of gold, black, and white stripes. I love that. I love that. Maybe you should have just left this entire central portion off, or maybe you should have at least just kept the bird off and stuck with the stars. Because the red circle, honestly, the red circle is a little dull. It doesn't quite pop against the green background, but maybe it doesn't need to. You probably could have gotten away without the black border around your stars and just gone with a different color for them instead. Also, they're alternating. I just noticed that. They're alternating up and down. Or, no, wait, they're not alternating. They're oriented, so they're always pointing outwards towards the edge of the circle. Okay. They've accomplished that by spacing them so that they only need to be mirrored. Interesting. I just noticed that one's imperfect. That bothers me. That bothers me irrationally. And the bird doesn't help either. So, we've gone a little out of order, it seems. Yeah, the purple does not. I know it's supposed to be a parrot. It doesn't work. It just doesn't, Dominica. I'm sorry. You're an ugly flag, and I have to put you in. You know what? You're in E tier. The background saves you. Dominican Republic. Oh God. Okay, corners of blue and red with a white cross in the center, and a lot of text. Dios, Patria, Libertad, Republica Dominicana. You've got an olive. Well, that's what that was. It was olive, I believe. Got, but that's not olive. I don't know what that is. Then you got a book. You got smaller. You should never have smaller versions of your own flag on your flag. I'm sorry. You go in F tier. Actually, no, you go in E tier because you're doing the same thing that the this flag did. Okay, East Timor. Again, this is one of those flags that would look better if it was hanging vertically. A big red field that you're just not doing anything with. Golden triangle and a smaller black triangle with a star that is not oriented in any way that makes sense to me, and that bothers me. It's just crooked for some reason. Okay, tweak the star so that it's facing either up or It's either facing vertically or horizontally. Don't have it at some weird angle. Uh, do something with all of this red. Because if you just want this portion here, that's fine. Cut it off like here. Cut it off, maybe 2/3 of this size. Don't just extend it for half of the flag to be red. But otherwise, pretty solid flag. I'll put you in B tier for being fairly recognizable as well. Ecuador. You've done the twist on the 3 stripes so that it's half yellow, and then the rest is 2 stripes of blue and red. You've once again put your own flag in miniature on your own flag. You got a vulture. You got an axe sticking out of, what is that? A bundle of sticks? Not going to say the word for it. You got these little plants sticking out. I can't even tell what these are supposed to be. You got a boat that's painted with your flag on it. And, no, 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 no. E tier. No. Egypt. Okay, basic 3-color background, red, white, black. And then we have a crest of a tannish gold that is clearly supposed to be an eagle with a shield. It's very simplified, very very stylized, and I like that. And it's standing on top of some sort of sign that then has Arabic text on it. I couldn't tell you what that says offhand, but it doesn't really matter. The text is so small that from a distance you wouldn't even be able to read it anyways. But as for the rest of the detailing on the bird, like even I don't know what they're doing with these jagged lines, but they've added texture in a way that doesn't come off as overly complex. So I actually kind of like it. Yeah, I'm gonna listen. The text, I'm gonna ding it for the text and put it in B tier, but otherwise, I feel like that was almost an A tier flag. El Salvador. What is with all of these South American countries putting their friggin' flag on their flag? And again, we've got that French hat in there, just buried in the center. I don't get it. I don't get it. The rest of the flag is fine. There's nothing. It's boring. There's nothing to say about it. República de El Salvador en la América Central. You got a plant and a ribbon and Dios Union. I can't even read what that says. You got even more small text. You go in F tier for putting too much dang text on your flag. Equatorial Guinea. Maybe it's not Central or South America. Maybe it's just the Spanish-speaking countries that don't know how to design a flag. Is this clip art? Is this a clip art tree? Who made this? The rest of the flag is fine. The colors are funky. You could have done better on your color selection. But, feels like somebody made it in clip art. F tier. Okay, Eritrea. Oh, this is refreshing. Bit of a weird shade of blue, I'll say, but it kind of works in an odd way. They all contrast nicely with each other, and I appreciate this very large isosceles triangle that dominates the flag. And they've used it to put in a national crest that is supposed to be some kind of plant. I couldn't tell you what, but I like it. I like it. I like it for the same reason that I like the maple leaf. This this is an A tier flag, I think. Estonia. Basic 3-stripe design, unique coloration. I'm willing to put you in B tier for the unique colors. Eswatini. Background is perfectly acceptable. Nice choice of colors. They don't capture the attention too much while remaining appealing and making each other pop and stand out. And then you have this crest. They've done the right thing in making the crest very large and very recognizable. I feel like they could have done without the little tufts of blue and red. I don't know what these are supposed to be, but they're too irregular. You should have standardized them a bit more and made them more consistent. The spears look a little odd. They feel like something that belongs in Microsoft Paint and not on a flag, but not quite as bad as the other flag we saw. Not as bad as that one. I like the design of the shield and these bars. I don't like this. I don't like this divide that's very wobbly and goes to and fro and all over the place. They should have just made like a curve, like a sinusoidal curve, and just simplified it. So I'm gonna put this. There's a lot I like. This flag has potential, but they needed to go through a few more drafts. So I'm gonna put it in C tier. Yeah, there we go. C tier. Ethiopia. All right, standard three-stripe background of green, gold, and red. Blue circle in the center, and a very interesting 5-point star made of a series of lines that are clearly supposed to be intersecting with each other, and it's done in a very creatively simple but mathematically accurate way so that it actually forms a five-pointed toroidal knot, which I very much appreciate. And then you've got the little sticks, little bars over here in between them. I quite like this. It's not too complicated. A child could recreate this. I think I put this again in my A tier. Actually, I think I put this in S tier. Yeah, I love this flag. I quite like this. Yeah. Well, this is a disappointing follow-up. Okay, Fiji. Union Jack in the corner. To remind yourselves that you were once enslaved by the British Empire. Field of blue that doesn't really look appealing, and then a crest with an ugly lion playing with I don't know what it's supposed to be playing with, and plants and palm trees and an ugly looking dove and bananas that look like they were drawn in MS Paint. Yeah, you go in F tier. Finland. I mean, I can't really put Denmark in B tier and then not put Finland in B tier as well for the same reasons. France. It's a three-bar flag, and like all three-bar flags, it goes in C tier. And with that, we're done with the final third. So done with the final third. So hopefully that turns out well. Let's take a little review here. We've got Canada and Ethiopia in S tier. We've got Albania and Angola and Azerbaijan. Which flag were you? I can't remember now. Oh goodness, I can't remember what these flags are anymore. Oh well. You can kind of see how it's shaping up, but there's lots and lots to go still, so let's take a break here for now. Then nearly an hour. So, yeah. I hope that turned out well, and I hope you join me next time.